Hey, this is Homebuying Uncensored. I am Mona Wong.
And I'm Brian Denton.
We're here to talk to you about home buying with real talk.
None of this mortgage speak. We're going to make things real simple for you.
And guys, I'm actually kind of funny.
Yeah, she's really not that funny.
All right, well, you try us out and let us know.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. Today I have Mona Wong. Mona, say hello.
Sup?
What's up? Today we're going to talk about some horror stories that we've encountered along the way. So the reason why we're doing this episode is so you all don't make the same mistakes as we go through when you're applying for a loan.
It's kind of like watching that horror story when you're like, don't run in there, don't run in there.
Yeah.
And then they run in there.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of fun because it's like watching a train wreck.
Like Texas Chainsaw, like, you know, if you see a barn full of chainsaws, why would you go in? I wouldn't.
I don't know, unless you're going to use one yourself. And that's why they never pick up a chainsaw. So anyways, Mona, what's your favorite story?
I think this one is so appropriate, especially in this environment we're in right now. There's a lot of home buyers who can't really afford to buy the home by themselves, and they need a lot of help from their parents. Not my children. My children are not going to get help from me because I'm poor. But a lot of parents are able to help their kids with gifts. And when you receive a gift from family member to buy a home, you have to document it with a gift letter. And sometimes you might even have to show where the money came from. So I had a young man buy his very first home. And I remember it was a 2-family home in Dorchester. And he used an FHA. So he put down 3.5%, but he didn't really have 3.5%. He still needed some money from dad to help. So dad gave him $5,000. Great. So I said, okay, well, can you ask dad to send me a copy of the check? And I need to see where this money came from. So we get a copy of the check, we get a copy of the bank statement from dad, and it shows like there was a $5,000 deposit as well. So now we're asking, well, where did that $5,000 come from? Well, come to find out, dad took that money from a joint credit card that they had together. He did a cash advance. And so because he's already done that and the money's already been deposited, there's no backsies, and the underwriter kicked it right back. And it took us a little bit to get it fixed, but that was like, oh my God.
That's just crazy. And the thing is too is what clients don't realize is we're your advocate and we're going to tell you the legal way to do things. But we need to know. You need to provide us with as much information for two reasons. We're going to make the transaction a lot smoother for you. And number two, we're going to find out about it anyway. So if you're doing something wrong, that's a bell sometimes that can't be unrung.
We need to limit the oh shit moments.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, Brian, you've been in the business for like a billion years. You must have some great stories.
I think one of my favorites is when you and I worked together 25 years ago or 23 years ago. And we had
23. I'm not that old.
23 years ago. I'll digress a little bit, but I used to play prank phone calls on Mona all the time when she was in processing and pretend to be somebody that I was not, or one of the clients, and ask her stupid questions. But anyway, was the guy who worked for the post office for like 20 years and decided a week before the closing that he was going to go sell cars on straight commission. Now, there's nothing wrong with either occupation, but when you go from a salary to a commission structure type, we have no idea what your income is. So all the income that he worked so hard for the post office 20 years, we could not count any of that income.
It's a career change.
Yeah, because he was out selling Hondas. I mean,
you cannot career change in the middle of a loan.
Yeah, I mean,
you just cannot do that.
Yeah. What was the guy on? Was it the guy went to work for Roto-Rooter, or did I just make that one
up? The guy quit his job. He had a very high-pitched voice. I remember this.
Yeah.
And you called me, and you said, "Hi, Mona. I have great news. I just got a new job." And I said, "That's great. What's your new job?" I'm praying that it's in the same line of work that we're not doing any sort of career change. He's like, nope, I'm going to be the new driver of the Roto-Rooter. And then all I heard was a bunch of cackling. Nothing wrong with Roto-Rooter. I don't
Well,
even, do they even exist anymore?
I think they do. I think they do. I just don't think they're as big anymore as they used to be. I don't know. I haven't seen them in a while. They used to be on TV all the time.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know what Roto-Rooter is, they literally clean shit?
Well, they're plumbers.
Right. Oh, sorry, they're plumbers. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. But you don't call them unless you really need them. And it's usually a toilet problem.
I've cleaned up poo-poo before, and nobody's ever called me a plumber.
No, we would never call you a plumber, Brian.
No.
Crack and all, we would never call you a plumber. You know what else? One of my favorite things that I will never forget. And let me preface this with sellers, when you sell your home and you have an accepted offer and your buyer has an appraiser going in, your value is not based on how you decorate at all. However, sometimes all the time pictures are taken and we just don't know what the appraiser will say. So I had this condo that was listed, and this kid was buying it. It was his first place and he was so excited. We get the appraisal back, and I swear to God, I think there was like a chalk mark of a body in the middle of the living room floor, and the appraiser had made a comment about the entire condo smelling like feces. And it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. And this guy, and I called my borrower, I said, when you looked at the property, like, did you smell anything? And he was like, yeah, it doesn't smell that great, but I'm going to go in and clean it up. And oh my God, he totally did that. And in fact, this was like 10 years ago. He recently just sold it and made like a good chunk of money on it. And he cleaned the place up, and it was amazing. I love, love, love looking at appraisals just because it's so interesting for me to see how people live.
That's because
But
you're
just something
nosy.
to think about. No, I am a little bit nosy too. I am. And it makes me feel good and makes me feel like I'm not a total slob,
Yeah.
like some people out there.
Well, it's a matter of just making sure you clean up the house, and you don't want like 4 days worth of dishes in the sink, and
No, like
make
put
it.
your underwear away,
Yeah.
especially the dirty ones. Put them away, hide them, pull open your shades, let the light in. I had another one where clearly somebody was sleeping on the couch because the pillow and the blankets and everything was still there. I actually think you can still see like the indentation of the person's ass, like in the cushion. And next to it was the coffee table. There were two empty beer cans and a sippy cup. I mean, I'm going to judge you. I am going to judge you. Your value is there, but I'm going to judge you.
I know, but at least they got rid of the bong. So,
No, I think. I mean, there was something sticking out of the couch.
yeah, yeah. No, I had one time where they needed to buy a new car. And so they did the right thing. They called me and said, "Hey, our car just completely, that's the bed. We need to go buy a new car." So I said, "Let me do the numbers and get back to you." And they said, "Okay, fine." I did the numbers. I said, "Listen, you can't spend over $375 a month. I don't care. It's going to blow the deal. Um, if you do it, you won't be getting your house." And they got a great deal for $475 a month. Even after that, and I'm like, "What are we doing?" So luckily, we pulled that one out. We had to get a gift to put more money down, but still, that's an unforced error. And I think
Yeah.
the biggest one is when people go out, and especially first time home buyers, and just beware of this first time home buyers. Don't go buy furniture, and don't listen to the furniture salesperson say to you, "Oh, we're going to do it for 48 months, and it's the same as cash, so there's no interest payments on it." You're still going to have a payment, and if you spend $20,000 on furniture and your term is 48 months, they're going to divide even they're going to divide the 20,000 by 48 months and add that to your debt to income ratio. So that could actually blow a deal too. So I always advise people, don't go out and buy appliances or anything until you're cleared to close, and then go out and do that stuff once we've done the final checks. You know,
I would even wait longer than the clear to close. I would
yeah,
wait until after you've actually done the signing,
yeah,
because lenders now do like a lot of the
well, that's
last
true.
minute checks to make sure you haven't opened anything new. And if you did, then
Yeah,
it could totally put the kibosh on everything. And you just don't want that, you know. I mean, wait. So okay, fine. You sit on the floor for a few days or maybe a week until you have new furniture. Like, who
yeah,
cares?
yeah.
That's the least of your worries.
I think the point of this episode is, if you've got questions on what you should do with regard to moving your money around or accumulating any new debt, you always, always, always need to check with your loan officer and have a conversation with them before you do anything financial during the mortgage process, because you don't want to jeopardize your commitment. And it's sometimes, if the loan is already approved and getting in for a clear to close, you already have a commitment, and you do something that could actually cause the loan not to happen, then you could lose your deposit on that home. So if you put $40,000 down and you did something to cause the you not getting the loan, then you could lose the deposit.
It's the classic help me help you
Hmm.
speech,
Yeah,
right? Like,
absolutely.
you're better off. I know a lot of people think, oh, and I always get this a lot. I'm so sorry to bother you. I have a stupid question. Like, you're not bothering me, and it's not stupid because you've never done this before. So you wouldn't know the answer to this. But you need to ask the questions because sometimes you're better off asking and not making a mistake, because some mistakes are not reversible. And especially when you're dealing with banks, once you do something in your account, it's documented. There are no backsies. You can't just white out a line. That would be bank fraud.
Yeah, and we're also going to steer you away from stuff that could be counted as bank fraud as well too. I mean, some things you think are okay, especially with regard to money these days. I mean, everything they check to make sure nobody's laundering money. I mean, that's where a lot of the crime happens in this country, is money laundering. So it's just not you. And so when we're asking you for a large deposit to verify it, we're not accusing you, but it's like one bad apple is, spoils the bunch for the rest. And we obviously have to ask for it, because we got to do a money laundering class like once a year on what we should do. And a lot of it, believe it or not, happens in the mortgage side too.
Yeah, I mean, look what happened with my first story. Like, that was literally inadvertent. Like, the father didn't mean to, and it wasn't money laundering. It was more like, okay, he didn't have the money, so he figured I'll take it from my credit card. But it was a joint credit card, and it was, basically putting extra debt onto his son's debt to income ratio as well. But like, we need to know, they need to source and see where the money is coming from. They need to know that it's not from another loan. And what I mean by that is, again, the perfect example would be that credit card. Parents can take loans from they could draw from their personal home equity lines and give to their kids for down payment. They just can't take it from their kids' credit cards.
Right. Yeah. That's borrowing money unsecured. It's not considered good business in the mortgage industry.
And you just can't make your own money.
No, that's illegal.
Right.
You know.
And I'm not suggesting that anybody does that. That's laundering.
Yeah. You can't make your own money.
No. But this is a hot topic because most people are buying homes with gifts now.
Yeah. Well, the price of homes have gotten so high everywhere in the country. There's really no relief. You need to again. I can't reiterate enough. Your mortgage loan officer is your advocate. You need to be able to pick up the phone if your loan officer is not communicating with you. When you have a question, fire them and get a new loan officer. There's plenty of us out there that care and want you to do the right thing when it comes to getting your new home. So just make sure you pick up the phone and call us. And or shoot us out a text and schedule time so we can talk, so we can have a candid conversation about what you should do and what you shouldn't do, the do's and don'ts. We tell people up front with an email, and when I tell them when I interview them. But it's a stressful time for a lot of people, so they don't remember anything. So when in doubt, call your loan officer.
Don't
Even
become a story.
yeah, don't become a story. I have a lot of them, but I'm not going to share them all because I'd have to use names and places, and people might get pissed off. So thank you so much for today. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much for listening to our podcast. If there's anything that you want to hear, or if you have any questions about anything we've talked about, feel free to drop us a note. You can get us at hello@homebuyinguncensored.com. You can also get us on Instagram. Our handle is homebuying_uncensored. Thanks.